Hello pattern lovers, you're welcome and welcome back. This is a requested tutorial. It is skirt and blouse, but we'll be doing the blouse in this video. Here on my pattern paper, I've marked out a space for front and back, and we have the shoulder line, the bust point line, the under bust line, and then the waistline. And also have that marked out for the back too. On the shoulder line for this front part, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I'll go down to the chest line, and on that point again, I'll mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. So I'll try to just have an accurate measurement, my shoulder measurement and the chest line on the 4 points, and mark them out this way. The next thing I'm going to do is to mark my standard neck width. That's what you should be marking here. And then you go down to your standard neck depth too, and then you go ahead and curve it out like this. Now for my shoulder slope, I'll come down here to about 1.375, then connect it to the neck width this way. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to get the midpoint of this line, and on that point I'll be going into 1/2 inch, then come to the chest line and take my bust measurement divided by 4. Now I'm going to be using this as a guide to cover out my armhole like this. Next, I'm going to mark my waist measurement divided by 4 plus my dart intake allowance here. I'll replace it, then I'm going to connect it to the bust measurement this way. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to mark my bust span, that's the nipple to nipple divided by 2. I'll mark it also on the waistline, then go ahead and use my ruler to connect it like this. Now for the dart intake, I'm going to be doing the same dart allowance I added to my waist measurement. I'll mark it on both sides this way and then connect it in a dart form this way. Then I'll go ahead and tighten my under bust with 1/2 inch on both sides of the dart legs. Do you understand? And if you don't know how to do it, just mark your under bust measurement divided by 4. Measure from that point to the side seam line, and then you divide that into 2 equal halves. Then you're going to take that from the existing dart legs. That's the essence of marking out the waist dart the same way we did. Once you're done with that, you're going to use your curve to curve to the bust point this way on both sides. From that under bust tightening, you're going to curve from that point to the bust span on both sides this way. Then you use this part of your curve to extend it to the waist dart on both sides, just as you can see me do it here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to come down here to my bust dart value, which is 1.5. I'll connect it to the bust span this way. Then I'm going to come here on the shoulder line, measure it and mark the midpoint here, and connect it to the bust span on the bust point line, just the same way you can see me do it. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to come up here from my bust point line to my over bust line, yeah, and use my ruler to connect it the same way. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to be tightening the over bust, and I'll be doing 0.75 on both sides of this shoulder slope midpoint line. Do you understand that? And then I'm going to use this part of my ruler, just straight part like this, and curve it to the over bust tightening. Then make this side a little bit curvy, just this way. Once I'm done, I'm going to be throwing the darts. I'll measure this side, then come here and make sure it's the same length with this one. I'll mark it there and then extend the line to that point. Then blend it in to the over bust line, which will be the neck line for the yoke. Do you understand? Once I'm done with that, I'm going to be replacing this dart. I have 1.5 here, yeah. I'm going to take half of it and start from this point and mark it here. So 1.5 divided by 2 is 0.75, yeah. And then here I'm going to replace the dart intake I have around there. Do you understand? Place my curve this way to recurve the armhole to this new measurement this way. Once that is done, we are supposed to also extend this upward, but we'll be cutting the armhole the same way you see it here. And that's why you see that I didn't extend this new armhole all the way to the top. Now I'm coming to the neckline. I'm going to be coming into about 1.75, yeah. Then you can decide to take it from that point all the way to the first dart leg or the second one. It's the same thing, but I'm choosing to take it to the side, and I'm placing my curve this exact way you see me place it. It should be a little bit curvy and not just straight, except you want it that way. Then from here you can decide to go up 2 inches depending on your kind of neckline, like how wide it is, but I will advise that you just come down to about 1 inch to 1.25 from your shoulder on the neckline, yeah. Then here on the side seam, from the shoulder tip or from the shoulder slope line, I'll come down to 3 inches. Now once you have it like that, you're going to connect the 2 points this way. And this one, you can decide to make it straight or you make it a little bit curvy, like you see me doing mine here. So I decided to make this one more curvier than I had it earlier, and I think it's looking cuter now. Coming over to the back pattern, first I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2 from the center back line. Then I'll go down to my chest line, and on that point again, I'll mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and then use my ruler to connect it just as we did on the front or for the front. And this is what we have. Next, I'm going to be marking my standard neck width of 3 inches. Then for my neck depth, I'll be doing 1 inch. You can do 1.25 or 1.5. Then I'm going to place my curve like this and give it this neckline curve. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to come down here to 1 inch to slope the shoulder and connect it to the standard neck width like this. Next, I'm going to come here on the center back. Yeah, on the waistline from the center back, I'll come into about 0.625 to contour the center back. Then start from this new contour line to take my measurements. First, on the chest line, my bust measurement divided by 4, yeah. Then on the waistline, my waist measurement divided by 4. I'm choosing not to add that to this back pattern. If you want to, add your dart and replace the dart intake from your waist measurement. Then I'll get the midpoint of this line and curve the armhole from the bust width to this midpoint this way. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to be adding my zipper allowance of 1 inch. You know I'm comfortable working with 1 inch, so yeah, if you're comfortable working with 0.75, go ahead and add it at this point, following your center back contour line. And then after you're done, you're also going to extend the neckline to your zipper allowance this way. And yeah, I'm going to be bringing a fresh paper, place it here, then use my tracing wheel to trace it out just the same way you see me do it. And then at this point, I try to like extend this armhole all the way to the top. But yeah, work with me, you will see how I'm going to work with that later while cutting. So after that, after tracing, I'm going to cut it out immediately. I don't need to use my pencil to highlight it since I can see it clearly, even though you cannot see it. After that, matching it up, you see that yeah, it's exactly what we just traced out. Now, to cut it out, I'll first go ahead and separate the two patterns here, the front and back this way. And then I'm going to be cutting it out here first on this zipper allowance line. Then I remember that you're supposed to also have yoke on this back pattern. So I'm measuring the same from shoulder to the over bust line, and I'm using that same value as the yoke length for the back. Yeah. And then once I'm done, I'm going to connect it the same way you see me do it. Then I'm going to come up here to 1 inch, and then I'm going to just place my ruler straight like this. You can decide to make it curvy, which was what I had earlier, but I decided to make it straight. Then here from the center back contour line on this line here, I'm going to be going into 1 inch, place my curve this way and blend it into the neck depth here on the center back. And yeah, we are pretty much done with the yoke. I'm going to cut the rest of the pattern out, and immediately after cutting, you can decide to go ahead and label and indicate the neckline, the shoulder line, so that yeah, you know what you are doing. I'll keep that aside, then open up the waist dart this way, or slash this line, this bust dart line, apply my water glue and place the slash line on the bust point line, blend in the side seam, and yeah, I'm going to be cutting out the pattern the same way you can see me do it. I'll first cut out the bustier like you see me doing it here. I'll cut the center front of the bustier this way, and then I'm going to just make this part straight or just blend it in, and then you see how I cut out the yoke. That's why I say you should work with me. You see how I cut out the yoke, you should cut yours the exact way. Now you're going to match them up, the yoke, and cut out the excess and also the side seam of the front and the back too, and then you cut off the excess you have there. And yeah, this is the full bustier pattern and the yoke too. Now let's work on the peplum, and you'll be needing a 90-degree flare for this. Yeah, so 90 means that you're folding your paper just like this, and it's not 180. I don't mean 180. 180 is when you fold your fabric into two or your pattern into two, then you fold in a triangular form this way, in a way that you have 4 opening. Yeah, if that is how you folded it. But yeah, for 90, you're just taking your fabric this way and then you fold it to this other side to have a triangular form this way. Then once you have it, you're going to go down to the value you know will give you your round waist measurement plus plus the zipper allowance. Yeah, and then also it will give you the length of your peplum. your desired length of the peplum. So once you're done with all of that, you're going to mark out that value and connecting it, you see that it's not just straight, it's curvy. Yeah, then you're going to mark the length of the peplum, which will be the longer length of the peplum. Look at it again. You see that one side is longer, and that length is what you will be using to cut out the whole length. Afterwards, you're going to trim it to have the shorter part, and then you have the longer part. So after marking the radius, you're going to measure to see that it will go around your waist plus your zipper allowance of 2 inches. Do you understand? And once you're sure of both the radius and the length of the peplum, you're going to cut them out. First, I'm going to just mark this out this way, just connect them, and then I'm going to cut it out like you see me do it here. And after cutting it out and opening it, this is what we have. We have the center front here. And yeah, if you're doing this on your pattern paper, you're going to fold it back like this into four, so that you create that crease line, the same crease line you have on the center front. You're going to match it up nicely like this, and then fold it well. Use your hand to create that crease line, and then you have the side, yeah, the side seam on both sides. Now what you're going to do is to label this the center front. I choose to do it here, and then we have the side. Then I'll label this the left hand side, this part the right hand side. This will help you know the which part you want the longer part of the flare to be, and which part you want the shorter length of the flare to be. Yeah, now you're going to be marking the shorter length of the flare from the center front all the way to the center back, and from that center front all the way to the center back on the other side. Do you understand? Your desired length for the shorter side of the flare, yeah, that's what you're going to mark from your center front this way, like you see me do it here. And then coming here, this will be the whole length of the peplum. Yeah, then I'm going to mark the shorter length again here. I'll mark it also on the center back like I said earlier, and I'm going to be connecting all of this. First, I'll label the center back here because that is very important, and then I'm going to be connecting just what I have marked out. That's the shorter length of the flare from the center back to the side seam. Then here I'm going to place my curve like this and curve from that longer part of the flare to the shorter length that I have on the center front, and then place my curve like this to the side seam, this other side seam, yeah, and blend it into that point. That's what you're supposed to have. It's very much easy. Then you blend the other side from that side seam to the center back, which will be the shorter length. And afterwards, this is what we have, and I'm going to be cutting it out like you see me do it here. I would advise that if you can do this on a pattern, so that you add your desired allowance, sewing allowance, both on the center back, if you don't already have it, like something that will go around your waist, plus the zipper allowance. Then the sewing allowance on the side, the two sides, please don't forget to add that. Then you are also adding your sewing allowance on the down part and also on the top part. Yeah, so now we have this yoke, the front yoke and the back yoke. For the front, you're going to cut that on fold. Indicate that you're going to cut it on fold, and clean off this mark we have on the front yoke, because you already traced it out, so it doesn't confuse you. Then for the back, you're cutting two pieces of that because of the keyhole. But then you were supposed to like measure around your neckline for both front and back before cutting it out. It will be easier for you that way. But then you can also decide to just place it like this, and then you go ahead and measure from the center back to the center front this way. And whatever value you have, you can either decide to write it down, or yeah, you just go ahead and cut out for the collar immediately. Do you understand? So to do it easily, take out this piece that's the radius of the flare that you just cut out here. You're simply going to start from this folded part if your paper is unfolded, yeah, and then you mark the exact value you measure around your neckline. Then from that point to go up to your collar width or height, yeah, which shouldn't be more than 1.5, yeah, 1.5 max, and then you cut it out. But yeah, this is another way you can do it. Place your center front of your yoke on the center part of the paper. If your paper is folded, it doesn't matter if it's folded or not, because you can still place your paper, your pattern paper, on a folded fabric and cut it out. But yeah, place it like that, and then you're going to use your pencil to trace out the neckline like you see me doing it here. And then you also trace out the center back. Please remember to trace out nicely so that you don't have shortage. Then once you're done, you're going to measure again to see that yeah, it's exactly your round neck measurement, the one you measured on your pattern. And then you're going to be marking the collar height from inside here. Yeah, from this curve you have here, you're going to be marking the collar height of about 1.25 to 1.5. Remember I said 1.5 max. And then you're going to blend it in like you see me do it here. This might look small, but don't worry, I've tried this severally. This one gives better fitting. Not that the other method I shared earlier doesn't give better fitting, but yeah, this one just follows. Remember, you just measured out what you have on your neckline of your pattern. Yeah, doing it this way, yeah, it blends in nicely on your neckline. And then you're going to add your allowance, your half-inch allowance here on the center back. Don't forget that. And then if you're cutting this on your pattern paper, go ahead and add your allowance if you want to, or you do it while transferring to your fabric. Add your half-inch joining allowance, and then remember to also add on the center back, and then you cut this part. Also add here about 0.25 or 0.375 that you use to sew it. And open it up, this is what it's looking like I said, it will look small until you try it, and you will even fall in love with this method more. Or if you're not convinced, just do this one that I shared earlier. Measure what you measure around your neckline of your pattern, and yeah, now we have the full pieces that you need for this blouse. And I hope you transfer it nicely to your pattern, add the necessary allowance, and happy sewing. And with that, I'll be seeing you on my next one. Bye bye.